Welcome everyone to another episode of Kerbal Realism. It's been a long time since I've recorded on here. It's been a long time since I've been able to do anything with these mods. Today I jumped back in and I was starting to basically plan our Duna mission, because I think I have 6 days till our launch window is here. So I wanted to get the Duna mission just kind of ready to go, when I figured out that I kind of want a couple extra parts that we don't have. So I thought, hey, the best way is probably to get more parts. So that's what we're going to do today. I went to the spaceplane hangar, and this is what I came up with. And I've been testing it out for quite a while. It flies relatively nice. It's just a really, really large plane with a cargo bay. And inside the cargo bay is 4 drop pods. Kind of hard to see. Like 4 science drop pods. And they just kind of eject out, and they would float down to the ground. And we'd be able to collect the science data stuff. It's a big problem, though. It's a very big problem. Apparently, when you go 2.5 kilometers away from your, another body around you, in the atmosphere, KSP does some interesting stuff. Basically, what it does is it figures out, okay, it's on a orbital trajectory in the atmosphere, and it goes, we're just gonna call it exploded and done. So that applies to all 4 of these pods. So if for example we drop one and we deploy the chutes and we get out of range of it, it just disappears, and we can't switch to it. We can't go to the map view and switch to it, or anything along those lines. I even tried landing the plane and finishing the mission and going to the tracking station and seeing if that did anything, and that didn't show up there either. So what the plan is today is to potentially, we're going to try to see if we can work around it. And the way that I'm first going to try to work around it is by installing laser systems, or laser whatever. It's one of those. If I use it, it's in the mod. It's in the description. If I don't, then I will see you at the end of this cut. So I'll see you then. And we're back. We didn't have a successful time with the lasers mod. I'm not sure if it was my wrongdoing or if it's just not doing what I want it to, but in short, it didn't work the way I wanted it to. But just because we can, we're gonna go ahead and launch this guy. And he can take off really easily, really easily. Whoa, boy, I gotta turn on. I say yes. Whoa, wrong buttons. There we are. Anyways. Go. That's better. I promise I'm halfway decent at flying. Yeah, basically the point of this specific craft, let's put our landing gear away. Like I said, I swear I'm halfway decent at flying. So the point of this craft was kind of just to fly to the various biomes and take what remaining science I possibly had to collect from those areas, and that's what was kind of built into these pods, which we can go ahead and take a look at. Puts a humongous amount of drag on the system. Here they are. It's really cool. They all sit nice and flush, and let me just go ahead and show you what the problem I've been having is, and we'll see if we can curb the problem. So there we go. We released our first probe. Ooh, there he goes. He actually has a parachute on him. Should probably turn on the fine controls or whatever. And there he is, 1.8, 1.9, 2.2, 2.3, 2.5, boom, gone. And he doesn't exist anymore. Not very cool. Even map view, nothing there. Not fun. I've tried switching to the actual craft itself. That's falling, and it does save the craft, but same thing happens to the plane. So it loses, it basically becomes extinct. When I do that kind of a thing. I'm just going to level out. I should probably turn on the fine controls here. Make it a little bit easier on myself. Just about, I don't even know what these do. Just about level flight here. So I'm going to try something. We're going to see if this works. I'm going to open this again. We're going to go ahead and release the next one. And, oop, there it goes. Oh, we did two. I'm sorry. And we're going to try to see if we can... Oh, definitely not do that. Let's try to see if we can just kind of keep up with it. I am not flying correctly. I'm going to stall, kind of. Not really. I can get out of it. Whoa! That's interesting. Close those. There we go. And let's see how far away we are from... And it's gone. Dang it. Well, anyways, that's basically the problem I've been having. So we're not going to do that this episode. This is a lot of fun to fly. Why does that happen? Why is this happening? I did not make it flip out of control like that. Anyways, that's the problems I've been having. So we're going to find out something else to do this episode. Welcome back to a new day. It's actually quite a few days after that last set of recordings. And I actually found something to do today, so we're just going to go ahead and lift off. Very, very loud. So ever since I first started playing KSP, I have always wanted to do an orbiting science lab around Kerbin. And I have done those in the non-modded version. I have not done one yet in this version of KSP, or with all the mods. And why not do it on camera? So once this first set of engines goes, we can zoom in a little bit, just so it's not too loud. Here it is, the science laboratory. We have Bob and Samvin in it. They are the least stupid people that I currently own, but currently work for me. Same difference. Ooh, man, we're going way too fast. Way too fast. I did test this out. It does work. And Jeb is actually along for the ride. Actually, he is our pilot for today. He's actually in a command pod, and the reason why I brought it along and didn't do this, remotely or whatever, but the reason why I brought Jeb along is just to kind of show you what the plans are for emergency re-entry back to Kerbin. Ooh boy, we are losing control of this thing. What is going on? This thing worked before, why isn't it working now? Here we go. Get rid of those. That's better. Okay. So, we're just going to try to get this thing into a low orbit. Try to bring this thing down just a little bit more. Get my inclination back to right around 0. And we're going to do a low orbit space station. That's kind of the plan, and it will be on the equator. I didn't feel like doing it anywhere else. I could have brought some more stuff up, and we could have done a polar orbit, so we could have done some ground scanning or something along those lines, but this wasn't too much of a point to it, so I didn't really worry about it. I do have a bunch of mods that allow me to do like ground scanning and stuff like that, but I think this is more for a fun thing, and also we're going to use it to refuel. So this is the science lab, and up here is extra stuff that we're going to see as soon as we can get out of the atmosphere here. We're actually going to move our launch order around just a little bit, because I learned from the last time I did this. Do this a little bit more like that. That looks good. And this main rocket here has just enough to give us a chance with this little bit of fuel that we have left right there. So these tanks will be gone fairly soon, within a minute or 2 minutes. And then we can use the low profile engine, which is one of my favorite things in this set of mods. It's really small and it's fairly powerful. It has a really good specific impulse. It's like 400 or in that area. It's fairly light and it goes on the 2.5 meter parts, so it's really nice. We're just gonna tip this thing over a little bit, look into the sun. Oh yeah, so this is the biggest fairing you can get for this base. So I use the largest amount of fairing walls and stuff like that you can for this specific base here. So I think it's 2 nose cones and 3 walls. So whatever's in here, and you'll see it very, very soon, whatever's in there is quite large if it requires all that space. Let's go ahead and ditch it. There it goes. Woohoo! It's very, very large. It's more or less just a lot of connections, and we'll get to it. What it is, best way to explain it, it's a fusion reactor core, and I just wanted to put some cool stuff with it. Whoa, I'm using way too much fuel and got way higher than I wanted to. See if I can modify this at all. There we go, let's do this. So, let's see, the core here, which you can kind of see now. Whoa, still increasing. There we go. Burning towards the ground. First of all, I have to deploy these radiators fairly soon. I don't absolutely need to, didn't need to. Okay, come on, come on, come on. And we have 6 seconds left on this fuel down here. Yeah, first of all, I needed to deploy those radiators. That's one of the big things I need to worry about. We're gonna wait till we get a little bit higher, closer to our Peri-app or Apple apps here.
Hey, listen.
Hey, that's my phone. Hey. Be right back with you, promise. So this is what is going to be in orbit here. There's a couple of things we're going to be losing. We're actually going to construct the whole thing in orbit today. We're going to do a nice little docking maneuver and everything. So let's get to, let's get to closer to our Apple apps here so we can do a small burn to raise our Peri-apps enough. There we go. That looks good. Like I said, this engine is really nice. I love this engine. Nice and flat. It looks like this is the engine, but it's not. Yeah, it's this little ring there. It's actually the engine there. This ring. This is the fuel. As you can tell, that's burning. 85 kilometers looks pretty good to me. Oops. Jeb's doing a good job of putting this into orbit here. $85 by about 85. Cool. Awesome. So this is basically it. Let's go ahead and start the maneuver now, since the sun's in like an ideal location. So we are going to dump our fuel. We don't actually need this anymore. We got up to where we needed to be. And the next thing we're going to do is actually I do have a disadvantage here. This is one thing I forgot to do, is put some sort of controller on this main body here, because when we undock from this cowling and getting rid of these wings and stuff here, this thing's gonna free float. We're gonna have to dock with it, so it's gonna be interesting. So what we're gonna do is just decouple. We're gonna have Jeb here try to intercept the science laboratory. Here we are. Slowly pulling away. Our RCS is already on. We're just going to slide over. We have to do this fairly quickly. First of all, We basically have no RCS on this. Okay, slide in past, ever so slightly. When we get past, we will turn it around, aim, and just kind of go in for a fast docking here. Like I said, we don't have very much monopropellant, so we can't do this slowly. And all of my turning maneuvers I'm not going to do with the monopropellant, I'm going to do with the SAS module, which is, there's one right here, so it's allowing a lot of torque for me to be able to do this. Whoop, there we are. That looks just about lined up. Cool. Ooh, ooh. And this way. No. And we're not even going to target it. I'm just going to do this one by eye. Just because we don't have a lot of luxury of time when it comes to getting this one right. Here we go. She looks just about good. Go in faster here. And oh, there we go. That's decent. Cool. So this is kind of the space station so far. So we're actually going to lose this part now. So go ahead and we'll get rid of it cheaty way. Let's deploy the rest of these radiators. These are the small ones. I didn't really need anything more than these. Let's go ahead and take a look at our usage here. We are producing about 10 megawatts, but we're not using it. So we need to start using it. So we're going to go ahead and begin research here. We are going, and then we're going to start consuming about 5 megawatts. So this research station will be consuming 5 megawatts of this generator here, which can theoretically do about 10. The rest of this upper section here, let's take a look at it. So actually, let's just explain the whole thing. This is monopropellant, RCS fuel, normal SAS module, little things. Here's our science lab, lots of life support, which we can come up and kind of transfer resources back and forth. Hi, Jay, by the way. Then we have our docking port, which we just got into. Got some batteries, some struts. I put this huge ladder on here just in case we need to do some sort of fun work or something in the future. These radiators here to make sure that the core doesn't explode. And then we have our containers. I brought a bunch of supplies up. For example, anything I might want. So struts, which you can do in orbit, which is really cool. So I have a bunch of struts, a bunch of lights. Let's take a look back here. Parachutes and solar panels for just in case kind of moments. And yeah, so that's and it's kind of duplicated on either side, so it's very symmetric there. Up at the top here, at the top node, which the command pod is on right now, is what I'm calling the fast escape module here, or the quick escape module here. So Jeb's actually going to show us what it does very, very soon. We're gonna turn this thing, we'll turn RCFs off. There's not really much of a point. We have big SAS modules on there, so they're not. So we have plenty of torque. RCS is kind of for if we need to dock with something else. Boop. Or if something's coming here, we can always store the RCS for refueling for them. But anyways, Jeb's going to kind of show what the fast launch, or sorry, the quick quick escape mechanism is. So as you can tell, all it is a command pod docked to a spare docking port, which we will be putting more on, and we'll be expanding from this end, from the end over here, and also from the end over here. You know, for refueling or for docking space shuttle or something. But this is going to be one of the escape pods, so we're gonna go ahead and just show what's up going on with that one. Let's go ahead and just get rid of. Let's go undock it. And when I undock it, this is going to have no control, and that's the only thing I forgot to do with this, is put some sort of control module on it. Boop. There we go. So right now we have absolutely no control over the lab here. It's not on a suborbital trajectory or anything, so it really isn't necessary. The only disadvantage is docking. If you bump it or something like that, it's going to spin wildly. So the next time we come up here and dock with this station, we're going to have to worry about those kinds of things. So we're going to jump over to Jeb, and he is basically in a pod with a docking port, a nice parachute from Real Shoot. These things work wonders. And two little Separatrons. And this is actually a lot of fun, so we're going to do that now. Basically, what's going to happen is he's going to kill all of his orbital velocity, well, not all of it, as much as he possibly can with these two little teeny Separatrons, and he will be in a suborbital trajectory, and we can land him. So here we go. Bye, space station, or Kerbin lab. Wow, I'm going fast. As you can tell, our velocity with respect to each other is like 50 kilometers per second, or sorry, 50 meters per second, maybe even 70. 80 actually. 80 meters per second, so that's a lot of delta V we got from these Separatrons here. But then that's just enough to bring us below the horizon, and we will be able to land Jeb safely with this setup, especially with the Real Shoots installed. So that is it for today's episode. In the future, we can go up to the Kerbin lab. We will be able to dock stuff to it, refuel with it. The cool part about the lab itself is that it actually produces science slowly, very, very slowly, around Kerbin. So if you brought it to another planet or whatever, you'd get more science and stuff like that. But I'm not really worried about that. I really just wanted to do it more or less for fun. But number two, it actually does serve a purpose. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to land Jeb, and we will see you next time.